Good evening, Shaggy SoCal 2Old4Forza. And for the second race in our uh, Middle Eastern swing for TNT 43 and the Hoonigan focus, it is Dubai full. Um, this one, I had said that Rio was probably going to be the most challenging track that we race on this season. Uh, this one isn't far behind, though. I think in some cases it's a little more forgiving, not quite as treacherous as Rio was, but um, still is going to be a difficult track to really master and get good rhythm on. So again, I'm going to take a quick swig of drink here, and so same process. I'll run a couple demo laps. We'll talk this one turn by turn will be a little more extensive than some of the other ones. Because it's been a while since we've done the full circuit in the normal direction. And then I'll run the mock race and we'll kind of see how this car handles, what it seems to like, what it doesn't, and hopefully we'll learn, you know, if not by my good example, but maybe the things I'm doing wrong that you'll learn from that. So with that, let's get into the test drive. Now on a flying lap, you're going to come down here fourth or fifth gear. This is definitely a fourth gear turn. Careful of the wall on the apex. Roll back in. Look for the two palm trees on the right side. Brake just before. Third gear for the first part of the chicane. Try not to graze the curbing if you can avoid it. Look for the arrows there. Then look for the Dubai on the grandstand to help kind of keep you lined up. Fourth gear, down to third, heavy down to third, going in, maybe even down to second, definitely second gear. And now for the uphill portion. Third gear, just ease off the throttle, turn the car in, it's gonna understeer. Brake, dive to the inside, second gear. This is gonna feel so slow. Cut across, keep it to the inside, but notice the how the slope of the road. Kind of try and stay off of that. Okay, not really using the brake, just doing it all with the throttle and gentle steering. Okay, try not to clip that curbing, cresting the hill. Down to the hotel. Second gear, try and hug the wall. It's going to push out a little bit, just let it come back as it slows. Stay on the gas, try not to hit the wall or go off track. Third gear, fourth gear, quick little brake. Down to third, you can leave it in fourth gear if you want. Another quick little brake. Balance it with the throttle and the steering. Let the car do the work. Roll back in the gas, roll out of the gas. Turn the car in. Look down the road for the right pole to line up on. Third, fourth gear. Down to third, turn. Long sweeper here. Third gear up to fourth. Watch the bumps cresting the hills. Maybe you need to let off the throttle a little bit. I'm going to bring it back over to the right a little more than the line does, so it lines me up here. Just off the gas, let the car turn in on its own. Roll back into the throttle. Down to third. Late turn in. This one's really feels slow. As soon as you see Xbox, aim for Forza. Use all the road as you can out. Fourth gear, off the gas. Turn the car in, roll back into the throttle now, and back out onto the front straight. So I'm going to do one more flyer, and then we'll talk about the lap. Still don't have that quite right yet. I know what I want to do. Okay, so that's a lap of Dubai. So I just wanted to see what the lap time was. 227. Okay, so let's back up here a little bit. Oh, wrong button. I don't want to rewind. Okay. Turn by turn. Okay, so you're gonna be coming down the front straight. You can wind out in fourth, or you can bump it up to fifth, either or. Um, the cadence for me on this is soon as I'm crossing start finish line, I'm braking, downshifting to fourth, and it's basically you do need to scrub some speed. Again, the car's going to want to understeer. There's not you're not going to have downforce to pin you to the ground. So for me, it's brake and it's this, and I should point here, but it's you can see the kind of the speaker pole that's just to the right of the rearview mirror. That's what I'm looking for. As that's passing, that's when I'm really from the time I cross start finish to that pole, that's my braking zone. That's where I'm downshifting into fourth, and I'm just trying to scrub the speed off. And then as I get to that pole, if I've scrubbed my speed, I can let off the brake and turn and really commit turning into the corner. And at that point, I'm balancing with if I'll carry the speed in, but I'll start feathering the throttle, just trying to find that level of grip. If the car starts to push, I just let off a little bit. It's a nice long it's a nice long sweeper. Actually, one thing I'm going to do on this one, because I do differ quite a bit from what the suggested line is. I don't always take its suggestions. I take them under advisement. They're more guidelines. So let's go ahead and set that. Okay. So letting off the brake as that pole goes out of view. I'll be in fourth gear, and I do kind of, for what you'll see of the line, it's this one I will follow its suggestion. Now, the tendency is I might, creep in on the inside of it a little bit. You really, if you're gonna cheat this line, I'd rather you be either on the line or just a little bit to the outside of it. Uh, Especially because if you get too far to the inside, that concrete wall is very unforgiving, and it's something that's very easy to clip. So, just be mindful, try and stay, if you're following the line, this is a good one. I would try and stick to it as much as you can. But when you get past that wall, about here is where I'm really looking at getting, committing back to full throttle. Up until that point is I'm just balancing with, how much wheel I got turned in. If I'm starting to roll on the gas, the car starts to push, I just let off a little bit. I don't change the steering all that much. Roll back out, still, I think, fourth gear, all the way out here. This one, it's kind of a trail break in, but it's right, as far as correlating static objects, with the suggested line. I'm looking at the two palm trees there are the easiest things to spot, and it really is I'm getting lined up out here, and I'm starting to turn in and trail break in just as I'm getting to those. And so fourth gear, that's a downshift to third. And this curbing is, and I'm not sure, I'm trying to remember the other track that I described this on. This curbing is actually pretty, it's pretty substantial. So it's kind of like Prague, where I said there's some curbing where if you're going to cross over it, if you're going to attack it, you've got to fully commit to crossing over it. You can't nick it, because if you just scrape it, it's significant enough. It's going to throw the car. It's going to unsettle it and throw it to the left here. So I'm probably, yeah, I don't have any advice. I would say try and keep it neat and tidy. Just be aware that if you do nick the curbing, it's going to unsettle the car. And it's the same thing for the second one. So this one here is third gear. Um, After you get past the apex of the first one, it is usually you're still carrying a little bit of momentum. This one's a little sharper, so you're probably you'll have to brake just slightly between the apexes to get the car turned in here. If you want to drop it to second, you can, but I really think you can keep it in third. Work your way out, third gear, fourth gear. Now, when I come out of the chicane, if you look, this is where I talk about getting your eyes up. If you look way down the road there, you're going to see the 3 signboards that kind of have the arrow saying go this way, go to the left. So it's the one that's closest to the middle. Like, so if you had to line up, you can see the blue, the right blue sign, but you can see that the arrowed sign that's in the middle. That's the first thing I'm trying to spot exiting the chicane, so I can get kind of lined up. So I'm going to kind of aim for that sign as I'm heading down. I was heading down the straight, because what I'm trying to do is, if you look at the map, this straight isn't very straight. It kinks a little bit to the left and it kinks back to the right before you get into the mountain section. So I'm trying to take a line that's as straight as possible to keep this car as straight as possible, minimize my steering, and so that's that arrow sign's first thing I'm looking for. It'll get me close to the yellow barriers here on the left, but then the next thing I'm going to see is, you can see then the grandstand that's on the left side with the Dubai logo on it. That's the next thing. As soon as I see that, I aim for that, because what that's going to help me do is it's going to keep me to the left here, and it's just it actually kind of intersects me with the line again, but it does kind of put me back on line so that I can make the turn here as gentle as possible. Now I've got the full line on here. At the pace we're doing, I don't think the line is on at all at this point. We won't see it for braking only until a little bit later. So again, you're still fourth gear. Braking to head into the mountain, it's a lot earlier than it is in other cars. A lot of other cars, especially the lower class cars, you can brake a little bit further up, but it's basically, for me, you'll cross under the Dubai pedestrian bridge there, and it's this first pole on the right, and I'm a little too close to it to be able to really highlight it. Let me back up a little bit. So it's that pole that's just behind the rearview mirror now. That's what I'm looking for. Again, looking for extra static reference points and not depending fully on the braking line all the time. That's what I'm looking for. As I'm getting to it, it is brake, heavy brake. I will drop it to third on the way in, and this is where I differ from the braking line. Right about the point that I'm getting to where the pit out is for the mountain circuit, I'm already going to start to turn in. The game is suggesting kind of squaring this up a little bit, taking a later apex in. I don't do that. I actually turn in a lot earlier to get the car slowed down in third. If I think I'm going in too hot and I'm going to overshoot, I'll drop it to second to help out, to help get the car slowed down. But I'll be in third here, line it back up. I'll do another braking here, drop it to second, and then try to hug and get as close to the to the curbing as possible. I really won't play with that curbing because it's really too close to the wall. Second gear here, out, up to third. I will, abuse this curbing a little bit on the way up. And in third gear here, it's this next pole that's just to the left of the rearview mirror. That's the next thing I'm going to look at. It does kind of correlate where the line turns red. That's my reference point to help get the car into these next couple of corners. Um, Again, we know how pushy this car is. This is one that you're just going to have to kind of, if you get it right, it's pretty good. The car won't push too much. If you get it wrong, it is going to push a little bit. Just it's not difficult to deal with, and I'll probably make this mistake a couple of times. But what I'm trying to do is, as I get to this pole, I'm just going to let off the gas. I'm really not going to brake, but I'm going to start to turn in. I kind of use the parking sign there to help me just give the reference to get the car to the inside. And this is another part of the course where I differ from the line. Again, about this point, if you come in here too hot, the car's going to slide left to the inside. Um, that's fine because for the line to take through these next couple of corners, again, I'm going to differ from what the suggested line has. The suggested line wants you all the way over here to the right and then kind of like do a late turn in like that. I don't, the pushy nature of this car, I don't think it's best for it. So about this point where, I'm kind of apexing the right side here, I'm actually going to take the car straight back across and brake in a straight line here to the inside and then hug the inside of the wall here. And yep, I rejoin the suggested line, and then I'm saying, nope, I'm going to differ for you. I'm not going to go. Again, it wants you to take kind of a wider entry in. For me, I like just going straight across, braking a little bit, and then getting into this corner. Um, so again, the way this road is, you can kind of see how it's angled, but we've got it kind of a increasing uh, degrees or angle. I forget I use my words. I can't think of the right words here, but the incline. There's a bit of an incline there. So here I'm in second gear. I'm just balancing the throttle, trying not to get too far to the inside, because if I do, it'll just push the car back out. It is just balancing. Hug the inside, hug the inside. The second that I see, and this is about where we're back on with where the suggested line is. Again, going to cut across the middle. Again, rolling back in, letting off the throttle and turn in, let the car just kind of roll through the corner, roll back into the throttle a little bit, let off the throttle. And all through here, I'm really just trying to stay off the curbing. And especially here, as you're kind of cresting the hill, you're going, we know what's coming up. We've got the little crest over the hill down in the straightaway. I would still, this curbing here I'd stay off of it. I'd stay off of it, and I think we'll see how I do it when I get into rhythm. I don't tend to follow the suggested line over here either. I tend to be a little wider out and take this a little straighter. The reason being is, again, if you clip the curbing, it's gonna shove the car to the right. You're cresting a hill. The front tires, the car's going to get light, and you're going to lose. For as understeery as this car is, you're going to lose even more steering. The car's going to push a little bit as you crest the hill. So I'd rather the car be a little straighter down towards the hotel, away from the wall, than pointed towards it. Because when I lose that traction, the only way then to not shoot across and hit the wall or scrape the wall is to back out of the throttle, and I really don't want to do that. So if I can take this, if I can take this one a little bit wider, a little bit straighter, then I can get to the throttle and commit back to it a lot earlier and carry that speed down. So the reference point that I'm trying to target as I crest it is, you can see all the poles going down towards the hotel. It's that last light pole. That's what I'm trying to point the car towards. And even the braking line here is kind of, you can see it kind of arcs towards it. But if you can get your eyes on that and get the car pointed towards that, you'll be able to commit back to the throttle and let the car just come out here, and no worries about going to the wall. But I'm sure during the mock race, I'll make that mistake and clout the wall, and then I'll probably say, like, don't do that. This is the other turn that I majorly differ from. I think I would say I would take a more aggressive line than what the game suggests. As I'm coming down to the hotel, as I get to the left-hand turn sign, I'm going to start to turn the car in, and as I pass that, I'm going to get brake, brake, brake. I'm still trying to find the exact place, the consistent exact place to get on the brakes. what I'm trying to do is to straight line brake it, third gear down to about here, down to second. Well, let's see, wait, let's see, fourth. Maybe I forget the gearing I'm in. I think I'm in down to third at this point. Trying to get the braking done so that I can release the brakes. The car's gonna. This is the weird thing for me with the wheel. The car's gonna feel, especially in this initial braking, the car's gonna slide a little bit. And then as I'm releasing the brakes and get to the, if I've done my work right, as I'm releasing the brakes and I get to this pavement change, the car's going to grip up. It's a weird thing. It's going to be slide, then it's just going to grip. And what I'm trying to do is when it hits that in third gear, if I do it right, I'll be pointed straight to the inside again. I take a much straighter, shallower entry in, brake again, brake down to second, and again, I'm going to differ that I'll probably, when I get into this corner, I'm going to push a little bit, on entry outside the line here. I'm just going to I'm going to be off the gas. If I might tap the brake a little bit just to try and get a little, if I need to get weight back on the front tires to help the turn in. I'm really not going to do a lot of real aggressive, like, I got to bring the car back. I'm just going to work with the gas and brake to kind of get the fronts in line. But I'm going to try and get the car back in and get it back to the inside. Now, as I'm getting under these two awnings, for a lot of the lower class cars, a lot of times by the time I'm starting to get under the awnings is when I can start rolling back into the throttle because, I can hold this line all the way out on the exit. This car doesn't. It's got enough understeer, especially when you're getting back to throttle, that I'm finding I'm having to wait much later in this corner. I'm really not able to get back to the throttle until I get about to here. So for me, the reference point is when I'm starting to get under the second awning here on the right side. I'm calling it an awning. I don't know if it's an awning, but it's an awning to me. As I'm getting to that, and the other thing too is the exit starts to open up. I can see the mountain. That's when I know I can commit back to throttle. But even that, it's not a stab. I'm going to try and roll back in as quick as I can, but I'm still going to try and hold it because the understeer of the car under acceleration, you will come out very, very quickly. You saw it on my demo lap, how all of a sudden that I almost came over this line. And it is possible, if you cross it a little bit earlier, that you'll get a time penalty. But wall comes up quick, but you do want to bring it out to the wall. So let's see, we're going to be third gear. They're coming down the hill. Third gear, if you want to put it in fourth, you can. If you want to wind it out in third through these next couple of turns, that's at least through the next part of the turn, and you'll probably downshift later. I'm using the road sign here on the left as kind of an additional reference point of where I'm turning in. So again, I'm probably going to turn it a little earlier than the line suggests, but I'll be in third gear here. I might pop it to fourth, get on this curbing. As I'm crossing over the center line, I'm going to let off the gas. It's probably going to be a little bit of a trail brake, just enough to scrub a little speed, get a little weight in the front. Maybe you might be able to do this in fourth. You can do it in third. I don't think it matters too much here. Again, the line's actually pretty good for what I do. I might let it drift out a little bit more to the center. Again, it's just kind of what the car wants to do, so I'm not going to try and force it rigidly on the line. For me, then, I'm going to try and get back to the throttle. If I can get some acceleration back out, great. I'm actually going to be looking for that parking sign on the right. Is kind of, as that's going out of view, that's my kind of helpful hint that I need to do another kind of, quick check brake, trail brake, scrub a little speed, get some weight in the front tires going into this next long right-handed sweeper. For me, this is definitely third gear, and I'm going to try and follow the braking line. Won't always happen, again, because the front's going to slide, but it will be. I do agree that I think ideally I want to try and have a late apex and have the car out here. I'm still trying to figure out. I'm still in third gear at this point. I'm still trying to figure out the rhythm for this next left-handed sweeper. I don't know. It's kind of one of those. I'd love to be able to do it and not have to do a lot of heavy braking or charge into this corner. I'd rather be a little bit more relaxed and maybe ease out of the throttle, maybe do a couple little tap brakes to get the car into the corner, but it's somewhere just past when we pass this parking sign. It might be the next pole is I might be letting off here a little bit and then maybe turning in. Yeah, I'm still trying to find a good consistent reference point to go along with that. But again, as I get into the corner and I get about to the apex, the second I can start seeing the poles with the banners down at the end, on the left there, I'm going to try and find the pole right before those start. And that's on the exit. That's where I want the car to be. Um, as I'm trying to roll back into the throttle and trying to find that pole, is to get the car out so that I want to be out to the right side as I get to this pole here. I'll put it up into fourth gear. If you really get a good run out of that corner, you're going to be banging the rev limiter in third before you have to brake. So I'd say put it in fourth. And then I completely forgot. I think I'm relying on the braking line. The braking line actually, when we get into the race, it does line up with one of these light poles pretty well. And that's what I've been using. I think it's this one right here before the pedestrian bridge. Fourth gear down to third. It's a decent amount of braking. You really want to get the car slowed down to third. You're going to release the brakes about here, and then if you've done it right, you should just be able to let the car roll into the corner, and then you can start feathering the throttle and then start committing as you get past the apex. Now, the braking line's kind of overshadowing it when I turn it off or I have it on, for braking only. The next thing is I'm coming out of here. I'm going to be looking for kind of the painted white divider here. Let me just get up to it. I'm going to be looking for this painted this painted stuff, this painted asphalt on the right side. If I can get lined up there, knowing that I just got to be to the left a bit as I get to it, that helps get me lined up for the next corner. This is another one that will, if you're not careful, will catch you out. There's a couple of bumps here. You're cresting a hill. The steering is going to get light. The car's going to push. So as you get here, you probably just want to ease off the throttle. Just come out of the throttle a little bit. Again, the car's probably going to push a little bit here. This is the next place where I differ from what the line suggests. The line kind of, again, it's a kind of a nice late apexy line. It wants you to come out a little bit more and then bring it back across. I'll probably be with it for most of the time, but I'm going to start bringing the car back across. You can see where the blue sign is up there on the right. I'm going to probably start bringing the car back across so that I am along the curb. I am risking a time penalty. Very easy to go too far here and clip it. But I'm gonna flirt with that because for me, again, since this car tends to be very point and shoot, where it's like it just get the car turned, get it point straight, and get it going. Um, these flowy lines that the game is suggesting might work great for another car. I don't think it really works great for this one, just because of the understeer, because how easy the fronts give up. So I'm going to be a little bit straighter here as I crest down the hill. I'll take it straight down, avoid the sand on the right side, and then as I get to the kind of the bottom of this hill, this next left-hand turn, just off the gas, just lift off the gas, turn the car in, let it, just put in what you need, let it drift out right about here. Right as about you start cresting the hill, you can start roll. You'll be able to roll back into the throttle. You'll be able to get back to full throttle, heading down the last couple of turns. This next one takes me a bit to get the rhythm. Again, this is I differ from what the line suggests, because the line, you can kind of see it kinks out to the right to be able to make this left-hander. I don't do that. Again, this car likes going straight. Get it rotated, go straight. So what I'm doing is, using kind of the curbing here on the right side, you're gonna, as soon as I get past the end of that, and again, the braking line, when I see the braking line kind of cross over the yellow line here that I'm straddling a little bit, just right about here, I'm going to brake. I'm in fourth gear. I'm going to brake third gear. I'm actually going to brake in a straight line towards the inside apex here on the left. Brake in a straight line. And if I do it right, I might be able to actually get back on the gas here, keep it to the left, And then the turn in here, again, and looking at, I don't have any reference that's lined up perfectly with what the braking line suggests. You definitely don't want to wait until you get to the first of the red right arrows there. But it's somewhere between that and where the swoopy kind of tile starts. So brake, brake, brake here. You can flirt out here. This turn is, it looks like, just on looking at the map, it really does look like a decreasing radius turn. So it's one of those, it's deceptively, it'll be very easy to carry too much speed into this turn and then completely screw up your exit. So get the car slowed down, get it turned in. Now, what I said on the demo lap when I was kind of shouting as I was driving fast, as you're keeping the car balanced, the second you see that green Xbox sign, you can start rolling back into the throttle. And I would say practice this. See how early you can get back to the throttle, but don't aim. It's basically when you see green, think I'm going to start rolling back into the throttle, but aim for the next Forza sign that's to the right of that. And actually, if you want to look, either aim somewhere between the Forza logo and the word Forza, just because that'll help get you out of the corner. Because it's very easy, because you're going to cross over here. You can see where that line is. If I aim to exit the car so that I'm alongside where that Forza is, it's allowing me to use all the track out, be able to get back to the gas as early as I can to carry that speed out of the corner. It's also risky because the way the line is, if you exit too early, you'll cross over the line and risk a time penalty. So third gear up, I think third gear up to fourth. This one I'm still trying to get the full timing on, but what I'm trying to do is I'm getting this next set of lights, kind of similar to Rio in the tunnel. As I pass under that, it'll be a shift up to fourth, and I'm just going to ease off the throttle. I might dab the brake a little bit, but it's just to get the car turned in. And then when I get past this, so for me, and this is the other thing I'm still trying to figure out, somewhere between, if you've done it right and you're in fourth gear, somewhere between when you pass under this next set of lights that's on the ceiling of the tunnel, probably about halfway between that and the next sign here for stay in your lane, you should be able to start experimenting about how quickly and how much you can get back in the throttle. Because you do have a little bit more room on exit than you think. And so, you can see it's like I'm bringing the car all the way out this early because I'm just kind of letting the car's going to understeer. I'm going to take advantage of that and use all the road maybe a little bit earlier to get it out. And I will probably flirt with the line and straddle this a little bit. So fourth gear, winding up in fourth. And again, as soon as I can then move the car over, I'll get it all the way to the left as I'm heading down the front stretch to finish the lap. And again, fourth gear, you can wind it out in fourth, or you can put it up into fifth, and that is a lap of Dubai full. It's been quite a long time. I haven't looked back through, to see when the last time we raced this particular layout. We've been here in a couple other seasons, but it's usually been the other direction and either the short courses. So I think it's, again, challenging, especially the mountain part is very challenging, but I think this actually suits this car fairly well as well, but there are still some issues, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But that's a lap of Rio. No, not lap of Rio. Lap of Dubai. I'm still having post-traumatic Rio syndrome. So let's go ahead and finish the test drive. Now, for the laps, again, we're going to do the mock race, same classes, same delays. I'm starting a minute behind. Let's just go ahead and start that. And let's talk about the number of laps. Based on kind of my own time, I'm looking at this race is probably going to be about 14 laps, I would say. It is another 3-stopper, unfortunately, so we're going to see how long 14 laps takes. But here's the fun part: you're only going to get 5 laps on fuel, period. There's no way. There's no way to get. There's no way to get six. Um, when I ran laps, because again, what I did last night is I ran laps in rivals to run it out of gas to see where it ended up, and I think I got just about to the top of the mountain where I'm pressing the hill to head down towards the hotel, and that's when it sputtered. And I was actually surprised. I actually got the card, as far as just kind of momentum down the hill into the final turn, but then got stuck on the hill up on the front stretch. So yeah, only 5 laps, so it's definitely going to be a 3 stopper. All right, so let's see if we can run these guys down. And you might feel the back end. I'm on cold tires too, but yeah, you might feel that back end when you do that trail brake and turn in. You might feel that the back end just step out ever so slightly. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to do. Talking so much about what the race is. All right, so I'm going to pause here a second. I do not like the full suggested line, but that's better. All right, up here. Let's see if I get this time. See how the car it slid in and then all of a sudden it just turned, even though I am way understeering that. Oh, that was a little late. I was right. It was the pole right before the pedestrian bridge. That's the other thing too. That line also, you don't because I'm trying to straighten it. It's possible to also clip a little too close on the left side where the sand dunes are, and so it's a risky line. Look for the arrow. Look for Dubai. Oh, that's a little slow. Oh, a little too much gas there. Oh, that's late. I need to break a little earlier than that next time. Yeah, be careful of those curbs there on the left. Oh! If you're trying to see what your time is, how much you improved on your lap, or did you set a clean one, look at it after you get through turn one. This is why we practice, right? So we don't do these things in the race. Yeah, and so the risk with me really straight lining a lot of these where the line suggests that I shouldn't is that if I don't get the braking done right, it will push a little bit on entry. That's better. That's more what I need to do. Okay, so that sign that I pointed out on the right side for this turn, I'm actually changing that. For this lap, I used the pole just before it, and that seemed to work a little bit better. Oh, it's a little wide. I was gonna say for that second set of lights, aim for the the furthest one on the right. If you can pass under that, that should line you up. Whoa! The other thing too is going up the mountain. It's if you find you're stuck behind somebody, back off a little bit and see if you can get a better run out of the corner so you can beat them down on the next one. Leave it in third this time. Yeah, that pole before the street sign is much better reference to keeping my peripheral. Oh, going wide. Well, Mr. Corvette DPI, you may not pass. A little quick break just to make sure I get the car on the floor. So aim for the left one here, and see if you can get the car to the right one there, and then roll back in. Hey, excuse me. Ooh, no, fourth gear. Leave it in fourth. Ow! Drop it to second just to give me a little bit more steering because I got somebody right there. I gotta remember, I gotta pit this lap because I don't have a lot of fuel left. Maybe that's been my problem there is I'm so far wide and I'm trying to chuck in at the last minute. Maybe I just need to turn in a little sooner for that. Well, not gonna make that work. I have to hang out on the outside a little bit here. So yeah, now I'm gonna take more of the line the game will want me to take. No, I'm coming back to the other side. Oh, break, pit. That was almost bad. So yeah, don't forget to pit. Don't forget to pit. And yeah, because it's such a long lap. It's like wow, only 5 laps. And this will be the first time I've done pit exit here. So I think it spits you out. I think it's a pretty easy out. What I'll do is I'll do. Well, let's get. Yes. I'll just keep it to the left. Sorry, keep it to the right. And all right, so we're on lap 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we'll pit at the end of lap 9. And then we'll hit at the end of lap 11. Let's see if I can remember that now in a few laps. Okay. I think that's probably what I... Oh, ow. Where did you come from? I wasn't paying attention to who was behind me. So I think you know that heading into the hotel, that left red arrow sign, I probably need to actually start turning in at the billboards just prior to that, and then using that sign as the breaking point. Like, let's see how that works next time. I can surprise the monster here. Supplies! Oh, pushing way wide. So that's what I'm saying. It's going to be very, very easy to get it wrong and have the car slide. And once it starts sliding, it's good luck. Just be patient. Wait for it to for the front tires to kind of come back to you. Oh, this is going to be risky. Oh, don't you dare put me in the wall. I'm not abusing that curve, am I? I do on the downhill. When we go the other direction, I really use that big curb. Use as much of it as I can. And pushing wide a little bit. Yeah, that's it. So I'm going to start my turn in at the billboards, but then I'm going to brake just as I'm passing that sign. We'll try that again. Make sure that wasn't a fluke. And a little shallow there, pushing a little bit wide. Fine, I'll deal with it. Brake there. That was a little aggressive of me. But, you know. That was a nice pass by the Mazda. Got some argy-bargy going on here. Holy crap. Maybe I should have pitted last lap. That is a lot of cars. What? always say these streams have questionable racecraft, and I'm not talking about the AI. That's about me. Pushing wide a little bit. That's fine. Take what the car gives me. Try to be kind to it. Pushed a little bit too much there. Oh no, I'm not going to try this again. Surprise! All right, gonna keep to the right because I'm on a box. There are times I used to I would do a mock race just to practice before I would do the Twitch, and I haven't been doing that lately. And it's so a lot of this oh, wow, I didn't know they did that. All right, let's see how well I do the pit out this time. I guess if traffic is clear when you're exiting, a lot of cars behind me. You can bring it out a little bit. Just make sure you get your braking right, because the chicane comes up quick. All right, we'll run 2 laps. We'll come in at lap 11 for the final pit. Let's see where we land. If you've stuck with this long, or you're going to watch the whole thing later, just some of these turns, it's tempting to watch, the main screen of what the car is doing, but just every now and then, especially through some of the turns, just glance down at the speedometer of what I'm doing with the, gas and brakes. You kind of see, how much I'm actually putting in. For the tune, I'm running the 200 brake pressure tune. Steering on the wheel is at 540. Whoops, keep it in third. And as far as the brake, I'll check the settings, but I think my inside outsides on the dead zones for the braking is 0 and 85. I think that got me close to what, as far as the feel I would have with, let's say, translating it from the controller. Because I think on the controller, once you go, in braking, once you go past 75% on the trigger pull, you're risking locking the brakes. So I kind of wanted the same thing here. I wanted to get the pedals, brake pedal, that feel where, I want to put a decent amount of pressure to get to that maximum braking, but I still wanted a little bit of wiggle room. Whoa, that's bad. Doing it bad. Talking too much, not driving. But then, again, if you kind of pay attention to what I'm actually doing, so I'm completely off the gas, just feather it a little bit, and then back to full throttle. And then you kind of then look at the steering wheel position, even though it's mirrored. I'm turning opposite of what you're seeing to what the car's actually doing. But you can just see in a lot of these how much steering or how little steering I'm putting in. And just listen to the tires as well. You know, they're not really doing a lot to get them to slide. You know, you get that little pulsing sound. You know, chirping tires are happy tires. And they didn't like that. And I would say it's like I'm being pretty gentle with the tires as well. I mean, I probably still have a little bit of you know, as far as flirting with the edge of where they really give up. I think I've still got some wiggle room there. Oh, excuse me. So again, for some of these sweepers, if I notice the car starting to push, you know, I'm not necessarily going to just immediately start to put more steering in. I'll first probably back the throttle off first. Oh, fourth gear, to see if that, you know, to see if that gets the front to kind of come back in line. Probably should have pitted this lap, but let's see how we do. I should be able to get by at least one more of these guys before the mountain. Oh, that was dicey. Whoa. Patience, patience. Should be able to get both of these guys in the run down to the hotel. That's assuming I get a good run out of the at the top of the hill here. Get one of them. That was a bit of an aggressive chop by me, but no, I want the inside. Stay in my lane, stay in my lane. It's right there. Yeah, down the hill. Be careful flirting with the line. Pitting, so keep it to the right. Okay, almost there, almost done. 4 more laps. Halfway through the field. I imagine a lot of these guys probably still have to make their third stop as well. And that's probably the easiest way, at least for me. Yeah, just keeping it to to the right, heading into the chicane. Committed way too early to full throttle. I was being greedy. Don't pit, please don't pit, please don't pit. Driving tires. I pity the poor souls that have to race against mine. Downshift a little bit too soon. So yeah. The board is definitely the turn in. The red arrow is the braking. Turned in a little bit early. I'll salvage as best I can. Be greedy. Aim for the... Seven, 8. So look, unfortunately, that my rival's time was, I think, in the 225s and the one of the Porsche GT2 RSs, and so not going to be able to set arrivals time here, unfortunately. But at least as far as here, as far as the mock race, it looks like the 228's the official clean time. But I'll look up because I jotted down what I ran in rivals last night. After doing, I think it did about 10 laps. Again, part of it was figuring out fuel mileage, but then the other part was wrapping my brain around how to get this car around the course. Last time, I just had to get out of it a little bit there. That is Dubai. 228.9 was my quickest clean lap. When I was poking around in poking around in rivals, poking around in poking around in rivals last night. 227.9, and I think I had a 227.8. I'll figure it out, but it's going to be 2.5 minute laps. Um, excuse me, for 14 laps, 37 minutes, 3 stops, and that might take a lap off. So it might be 13 laps, but again, the kicker is 5 laps on fuel, and that's about it. So again, hopefully you find this helpful. Again, I don't think it's challenging. I mean, Dubai is a challenging course. I don't think it's as treacherous and high risk as Rio was. But it could be a little bit frustrating if you flirt with the walls too much. But with that, I'm going to stop talking. It's late. I'm going to go to bed. Hope you guys have a great weekend and happy racing.